Hey guys, KRX50 here with another review, and this time in the YouTube first I'll be reviewing the Cho Yugo Gattai Buroon booster from Kamen Rider Kiva. This is the bike set for Kiva as well as his bike armament. And this set includes the two things you see in front of you, Kamen Rider Kiva and Machine Kiva and Buroon. So of course we'll start off with the bike. So here we have Kiva on his bike, the Machine Kiva. We'll take a look at the bike details. It has two spinning wheels, some glossy red paint on the front and on the back. Got on both sides a painted on Kiva emblem. We see the bike is, well, it's a little atypical of rider machines because this is more modeled after an American-style motorcycle than the Japanese sports bike style that we usually get. And here we have this basically molded on figure of Kiva. Got the painted red chest, the gold Kiva belt, his silver shoulder and back armor, the leg that opens to become the Hell's Gate, his other leg. Got the painted in yellow eyes with red on the upper head. And, well, though this is not a quite well painted Kiva figure, it does have all the molded detail you'd expect from a Kiva figure. He's got the molded chains, molded textures, and just about all the molded designs, including all the chains and textures that would go on this right leg. Now it's not entirely articulated. The only real articulation it has is that you can move the arms up and down, but there isn't much of a point to that because they are designed to be gripping these handles. And the little thing is that this might have been a little bit of a production error on the one I bought. My Kiva's constantly looking a little bit to the right, but that isn't too much of a problem. We've got molding for the chains and the exhaust piston. Well, it's the tail lights, and of course, like just about any good bike toy, it has a kickstand. Though one thing to note is that the kickstand is actually a little bit too tall. If you put it down with the kickstand fully extended, you're always going to have one wheel off the ground. So what I like to do is just lower it down enough so that it can balance and both wheels are on the ground. And it does roll well like any good bike toy should. And it's a nice piece. And secondly, we have Buroon, the golden golem that Kiva can summon using the Buroon Fuessel to combine with the Machine Kiva to become the Buroon booster. It's got a totem-like appearance. Got nice shiny green eyes, a big red crest, lots of gold paint, molded nose and mouth, a little bit of black, silver detailing on the side. On these two sides, it's got that same kind of molded detailing you'd find on the inside of Kiva's wings. And that's a general pattern that is nearly universal within Kiva's own gear. Got some nice metallic red striping, and has a couple of hands right here with 4 fingers and a thumb, kind of closed down together. Also has this wheel, which will serve a little bit of a purpose later, that helps it to balance itself like that. And it's also really pretty hollow in the back, but there is a reason for that, which is because of the combining feature. And so moving on to that, we can do the combination, which is really pretty simple. all you have to do is first split Buroon in half, taking these two pieces and setting them aside. First, you're going to take this back piece and attach it to the back of the bike via these two clips, which these two pegs will go into. Just like that. Then take this single clip and put it into this little slot here. Just line it up right. And like that, you have the Buroon booster. So now the bike gets a lot of added bulk. We have this piece added to the front, so that this points forward, gives a nice straight aerodynamic feel. And the back section becomes this big booster piece, which has about 13 different molded rockets down here. And you also have the back wheel that works in a steamroller way. This actually helps it bounce itself without use of the kickstand. It's a good way to display. Rolls well, and if you're rolling it just lightly like that, it's not likely to fall over. And one additional feature is a little bit of a gravity gimmick, whereby you can flip this back wheel up, put down, and then once you let go, it goes into a wheelie. So now it can wheelie along. And you can also basically push it forward and then it goes into a wheelie, though it might fall down like that. And whoops, accidentally moved the camera there. And really all the weight for the wheelie is right in this back wheel. Because for one reason or another, this back piece with the back wheel is weighed down. So that when it's like this, the weight of the back wheel causes it to go into a wheelie. And then this back wheel also weighs down the backside so that it can stay stable like this. And this works on a simple joint where you can actually push it past the point of stopping. So you can actually have it in a kind of downward nose position. And it still rolls just the same as it does before. Now this is pretty simple, all things considered, and I can see why nobody's ever reviewed it before, and why it probably didn't get too many sales, and why probably few people actually bought this. That's because, well, it was not very well advertised. I'm pretty sure there were no toy commercials for this, and it was really underused within the Kiva visual media, because the Buroon boost, while the machine Kiva appeared several times throughout the show, and Bandai did release a separate Kiva and machine Kiva set where the figure was detachable, the Buroon booster itself was only used once in the show and once again in the movie, so it didn't really see too much action. This is a pretty simple bike, but it's got nice details, and it's also of note as being the last mainline bike toy until the deluxe tow ride vendor in Kamen Rider O's. So it does have some merit to it, though it is a standout from other bikes because it has a mold-on figure, whereas in a lot of other bikes were scaled to the Sochak Henshin line of toys and usually didn't include a bike, and you could put on various figures on it. This is scaled down from those kind of bikes, so if you compare it to other rider machines, this one wouldn't size up too much, at least height-wise, but it has a lot of bulk. If you compare it to, say, any of the bikes released for the Kamen Rider Dragon Knight American line, it is bigger than them. And that's mainly because of how much girth the Buroon booster attachments add to the bike. It's nicely detailed, and I mean, it's simple, but the gravity gimmick kind of works. I mean, not too many bikes actually let you give you the ability to pose it, have it displayed in a wheelie. And the good thing is the way the steamroller wheel works, it is good for displaying it either down on the ground like this, or in its wheelie position, because it's so flat that it does help maintain stability. So it's a good display piece, and I would say that it does. Well, since it doesn't do too much, I would not recommend that you buy this at too high a price. I mean, if you get for maybe like $20 at the most, it's a good price for this. Anything more like $30 or something, you're probably paying a bit too much. This is a good bike, but since it doesn't do too much, it doesn't merit too high of a price. I got this at a store that had imported them. There were quite a few of them. I don't know if anybody had ever bought one of these from that store. This had been on sale so long that I got it on discount for $10. But there were a lot of, but that store for quite a while had several unsold Kiva products. And so a lot of them were discounted, so this was not the only thing on discount. But looking at it, I am glad I got it. It's a nice bike piece. They really did put a lot of good molding effort into Buroon. And the machine Kiva, with Kiva on it, is not too bad in itself. I mean, I guess for the most part, I'd probably recommend this to Kiva completionists or hardcore Kiva fans. But if you're looking for a nice rider bike that's simple and not too much fueled by gimmicks, and something that's in between the Socha Kenshin size and something like the even smaller size of the bikes that came with the Revol interchange system from Kamen Rider Double, this is a nice piece to get. It actually is pretty cool, and if you have enough imagination, there are things you can do with a bike toy. And I really do have to merit it for not exactly using a molded-in gimmick, but instead using gravity to its advantage. So I guess I can say that I somewhat recommend this, but it's not for everyone. So please rate, comment, subscribe, and check out my blog at krx50.blogspot.com. And for now, this is KRX50, riding off.